Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm MrTieDye and I'm here today to, I guess, ramble a little bit about tie-dye. I know you guys like my rambles. There are very few hard and fast rules in tie-dye. So I always try to tell people to find what works the best for them, whatever method, technique. But there are a few rules, and if you're using Procyon dyes, those are the fiber reactive dyes that give us really great colors. One of the hard and fast rules with Procyon dye is you need to work on cotton or other natural fibers because polyesters don't take these kinds of dyes. But the other thing, you need soda ash to activate the dyes, and then you need either time or heat or both to set the dyes. So there's lots of options. But some people have thought that there is a specific order. I just wanting to know for myself, experimented to see, and there is no order. As long as you have cotton dye, the Procyon dyes, and soda ash together before you batch your teas, then you're going to have some good results. So what I have here are 3 t-shirts that have been pre-washed. This one has been soaked in soda ash, and it's a large sleeveless tee. I'm doing this mostly so I can keep them separated. The second tee we're going to do was also pre-washed. This one, I tied it up first, and now I am soaking it in soda ash. And for the third tee, it was pre-washed, and I have not added soda ash to it. I'm going to add the dye first, and then I'm going to squirt soda ash on over top. So for me, those are 3 different methods of playing with the soda ash just by rotating the order, and then from there you can get into hot water dyeing, you can get into low water immersion dyeing, hot water immersion dye, all kinds of ways to do tie-dye. Find what works for you and just go for it and have fun. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I say, I already tied 2 of the tees up. This one here, I'm just going to do just a basic spiral on it and twist it up. And then we're going to, like I say, dye this one, and then I'll organize the video so that you'll see the results. And then I'm going to show you how I squeeze this out, get that t-shirt dyed, and then we'll move on to the last one. But you'll see the results after each t-shirt. Another thing, I've had people ask about rubber bands. I used to use rubber bands all the time, and once I found kite string, then I got away from it. This here is the, anyways, let's just go right for the rubber bands. So the way that I used rubber bands to get them on the t-shirt effectively is get the t-shirt twisted up how you want it, and then I kind of squish it together a little bit. Then I stretch the rubber band out between my 2 fingers, and I leave plenty of room. If you put 2 fingers in there, then you have a nice gap. Basically, you want the gap to be taller than the t-shirt. And then you put your knuckles on the table so that this rubber band here at the bottom is flat on the table, and then it allows you to slide that right underneath and move it around without disrupting the t-shirt too much. And then you can slowly get into place and release the tension and get it on to your t-shirt. And then I will go ahead and adjust a little bit. Sometimes you can tighten the t-shirt up a little bit, get your next pulls, and then you just pick up your next rubber band. And what I like to do if I'm doing the spiral is I cross all 3 rubber bands right over the center spot, right where I was twisting at, and that's going to help because it will give you your dyeing lines also. So once again, stretch it out, 2 fingers in, flat on the table, slide under. And then for this one, I usually put it in a nice X, and that leaves a nice big gap for the last rubber band. That divides it into 6 pieces of pie, which if you're doing the rainbow spiral, that's perfect for you. Okay, so then once you get it here, then like I say, I'll tighten some of these up, adjust those rubber bands as I need to, and then after that, I'm ready to put some dye on this thing. Okay, so let's get some gloves on, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, we're back Got some gloves on. We're going to use the same 3 colors on the 3 t-shirts just so that we have continuity. They were mixed up, looks like about a month ago, but they've been stored in the fridge. I've had good color with them. So we're just going to be comparing the difference between soaking the t-shirt before you tie it and dye it. Then we're going to compare one that we tied it first, then soaked it. So we'll spin that out here soon. And then on the last one, this one here was tied, and then we're going to dye it and then add the soda ash to it. So you'll see all that in somewhat rapid succession here. So we're going to use emerald green, black, and bluebird. So all 3 colors on all 3 t-shirts. Here we go. Fast forward mode. Batches for 48 hours, but you'll see the results here in about 2 seconds. Okay, next tea. So this one here, I pre-washed it and then I tossed it in a tub with some soda ash to soak it for 20 minutes. And what I'll do normally then is kind of squeeze out some of the excess by hand. And normally if I'm doing it this way, I can set these up on to a rack and just let them drip a little bit. But in the meantime, since I want to do this right now, and it's harder to squeeze all of the soda ash out, what I'm going to do is spin the excess out. And I use my washer for that. If you don't have a washer, like I say, you can, I've seen the mop bucket wringers. You could probably put 2 or 3 shirts in there and squeeze out the excess. Or like I say, you could set this on a rack and let some of the excess drip out. And you could even have it over top of a bucket so you can save your soda ash. But for now, what I'm going to do is spin this out. And I'll even take you guys back there and show you just how I do a spin out in my washer. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys have the same functions on yours, but what I'm going to do, this here is my spin cycle, and it goes all the way here. And sometimes some washers at the very beginning of the spin cycle, they'll spray water because they're finishing up the rinse cycle. So what I can do is set this cycle to about halfway through, and then when I turn it on, all it's going to do is spin out, because from here you want your fabrics mostly dry and you're going to toss them in the dryer. So I've already set my thing in here. All I do is, if I have more than one tee, I'll just kind of stack them around in here, but really all I'm doing is setting it in there and then turning the spin cycle on. I let it run for about a minute, and that just helps pull out the excess soda ash. So that's all I'm going to do, but there's nothing to see, so we'll stop here. Okay, so this has been well, if I could talk, this t-shirt has been spun out now, so it's barely damp. So I'm going to apply the same colors. Okay, there's shirt number 2, and you'll see the results of this one in about 2 seconds. Okay, here we are in third tee, and just as a reminder, this one here has been pre-washed, tied up, but it's not been soaked in soda ash yet. We're going to add the same 3 colors, bluebird, black, and emerald green. And once I have it dyed on the top and the bottom, then I'm going to squirt my soda ash on. So I just take the same soda ash that I soak t-shirts in, The same soda ash that I spray from my bottle. It's all the same soda ash, mixed 1 cup to 1 gallon. But I keep one in a squirt bottle so that I can add it on after I've dyed something. And this one here I didn't tie up into a spiral, because one of the things I like about adding the soda ash at the end is that the dyes will go in sometimes, and since they're not active, they're just traveling through the fabric. And as soon as you put the soda ash on, then it freezes them in place. So I'm hoping to get some little fingery action going on as the dye kind of spreads out on its own as it goes into the t-shirt before it gets activated. So hopefully we'll have some good results, and if we not, then oh well, but you'll at least see the results of when you put your soda ash on. Before you tie it, after you tie it, or after you dye it. So let's just get started. I'm just going to do some stripes on this. Okay, this time since it's a scrunch and I want to create patterning, I'm not going to dye the same colors in the same places on the bottom side. So this bottom edge I had dyed with the blue, and then the middle black, the top green. I'm just going to rotate them, so I'm going to start with green down here. And I'll overlap a little bit of the black area, but it's just for fun. Now I have added my dyes top and bottom, and what I usually will do is let this sit for just a few minutes, because like I say, I like to let that dye go in and just start spreading a little bit before I actually put the soda ash on. And you can kind of peek on the inside a little bit. Sometimes you can see if there's a bunch of white left down in the middle. If that's the case, then the dye is still spreading. I can see a little bit of white. So I'm going to let this sit for just a little bit. So I'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so now we're back. I've let this sit for 2 or 3 minutes, and that's just my own personal preference. You could put the dyes on and then immediately add the soda ash, however you like to do it. But I basically will squirt the soda ash on in a similar fashion as applying just a light coated dye. So I just go back and forth over the t-shirt once. I don't feel like I need to hit all of the t-shirt, because really what you're doing is raising the pH level of the t-shirt. So once it gets in there into the liquid, I feel like that is going to kind of help. But you still need to get enough in there. And I don't know exactly what enough is. So it's a random process. Just go with it. Here we go. Okay. Oh, sorry, I guess I went out of screen there. But yeah, I basically did the same thing on the top and the bottom. I just lightly coated it. And now I'm going to batch this for 48 hours along with the other two. And you got to be careful, it's a little bit drippier. Sometimes when I'm doing the final application of the soda ash, I will go ahead and put it in my tub first, so any of the leaks drip out in the tub. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I will have the results, and like I say, I will put them at the end of each one of the videos. So stay tuned. Peace out. Love you guys.